Good morning, one and all. We would like to welcome you to our presentation on the EdTech industry. EdTech is a term that refers to educational technology and is taking over our lives in a major way, especially after the corona pandemic when schools have been shut. We have been forced to move to a more online mode of education. And here is where EdTech steps in. EdTech seamlessly blends in technology, which has been developed over the last 20 years. And in fact, EdTech is an extremely sunrise industry, which we would like to cover in today's discussion. I would now like to hand over the presentation for a brief pestle analysis of the EdTech industry.
Coming to the pestle analysis, first, like some of the political factors that affect are like role played by the local government, transition of the government and change in policy, and restricted in internet access. As we know, like in some countries, access to the web is restricted for political reasons. This makes providing an online learning experience significantly more difficult. Then coming to the economic factors, it's like high initial cost. Like despite being a cheaper alternative to traditional education in the long term, there is a comparatively high upfront cost associated with online learning. This is because every student needs to access an electronic device in order to consume digital materials. And some other economic factors are like household income and savings rate, inflation rate, and workforce productivity. Now coming to the social factors, it's like attitude towards society, educational level in society, and lose to the human interaction. As we know that online education has the downside of reducing human interaction. Now coming to the technological factors, access to the electronic devices, internet connectivity, acceptance of mobile payments, and 5G infrastructure. Here we know that another major technical barrier to online education is internet connectivity. Even if students have a sufficiently power electronic device to consume digital education materials, they still need to be able to access those materials via the web. So access to internet connectivity plays a major role. Coming to the environmental factors, some of them are like recycle policies, influence to climate change, per capita and national carbon emission, and CSR culture. And last, at legal factors. Some of them are like data protection laws, health and safety laws, cooperation from publishers, and property right protection. Next slide.
Next, we have done value chain analysis of the EdTech industry. So here components 1 through 4 focus the potential of today's rapidly evolving cloud technology infrastructure that can support the centralized delivery of education technology services. Component 5 through 7 concern the adoption and integration of the education technologies. Component 5 focuses on the education technology, assessment and procurement process. Component 6 concerns the adoption of education technology by students and teachers. And component 7 focuses on the curriculum development as well as the integration and innovation of EdTech system. Finally, component 8 focuses on the assessment and evaluation of students' learning and their progress, as well as evaluates EdTech education reforms. Next slide, please.
Now, moving on to the National Education Policy. The National Education Policy is a policy that was introduced in India in July of 2020. It is extremely influential in the further growth of EdTech industry, and it cements its status as a sunrise industry. Why I say this is because the policy itself aims to revolutionize Indian education in a way never seen before. India earlier used to follow a 10+2 system, after which you have 3 years in college. However, this policy aims at standardizing Indian education to a standard held globally. And it basically introduces a 5+3+3+4 system, which makes India on par with every other nation in the world. The idea behind this is to emphasize on its accessibility, affordability, and equity, as well as accountability of Indian education. Affordability and accessibility are two key factors holding back a lot of the Indian population at the moment from accessing quality education. If this law can be implemented properly, it will completely change the game. And secondly, the National Education Policy correctly focuses a lot on digital education. This is with the advent of the corona pandemic, which has led many of us to retreat back into our homes. EdTech has become more important than ever because we cannot physically go ahead and carry forward with what has been practiced in India for so many years. We need to adapt and change. And that is what this National Education Policy aims to do in the country. It aims to raise the digital literacy by having various programs. It also aims to up the acceptance rate of parents as well as children towards digital education. One of the key factors for this program is it wants to raise the enrollment rate of children in schools to 50% by 2030. The National Education Policy primary aim is to meet the UN Sustainable Development Goal by 2030 in order to provide decent employment to various people among the population. I would now like to hand over the presentation to Pratik.
Now coming to competitor analysis, private edtech companies have helped revolutionize the education system everywhere in India. India's edtech journey started back in 1994 with EduComp Solutions founded by edupreneur Shantanu Prakash. Now the Indian edtech industry stands at a value of 750 million US dollars and is expected to reach 4 billion US dollars by 2025 at a CAGR of 39.77%. Top Indian edtech companies of the bunch that brought forth a change in the Indian education sector are Byju's, Unacademy, Vedantu, EduComp Solutions, Khan Academy, and Topper. Out of these, Byju's has the largest market share of 65%, followed by Unacademy and Vedantu with 30% and 29% market share, respectively. The Byju's is currently valued at 21 billion US dollars, which makes it only India's but the world's most valuable edtech startup. Some of the competitors of Byju are Unacademy, Vedantu, Udemy, Topper, Khan Academy, Adda 247, and Duolingo. Next slide, please.
So, Byju's is basically the biggest player in the tech platform, and throughout the years, Byju's has seen immense growth, and this growth was actually possible through two ways. One is they tried to increase their revenue, and they also acquired certain companies from the year 2017 to 21. So Byju's has increased its revenue by 82% compared to fiscal year 19. And in the fiscal year 2020, it was around 2,800 crores. And this makes Byju's a profitable company in a standalone basis, which also makes it an attractive company for investors like Tiger Global, Lightspeed Ventures, and etc. This increase in revenue was actually possible because of the 40,000, more than 40,000 sales executives that work with Byju's. These sales executives are basically fresh engineering graduates who crack the sales for Byju's. Apart from the increase in revenue, the acquisitions that took place from 2017 to 21 has helped Byju's in entering different different market segments, and also it also helped Byju's aggressively broaden its offering and tap into international markets. These acquisitions are more like partnerships and not like buyouts, which basically enables both the companies achieve their organizational goals. Over the years, the companies that Byju's has acquired, these are the list of the companies. There are a few more also, but these are the main companies that were acquired. The biggest one was Akash, which was a deal of like $950 million. And Akash is basically a test preparation institution, which has like more than 33 years of experience and more than 215 centers in India. Along with online footprint, basically Byju's was also trying to go offline, and Akash was at the forefront of this test preparation initiative that Byju's was trying to actually try. Apart from Byju's, apart from Akash, there is Great Learning, which is basically a upskilling platform for working professionals, and the deal was $600 million. Apart from that, there is Epic Games, which basically helped Byju's to have a strong foothold in the US market, and the deal was $500 million. Other companies like Topper, Scholar, Osmo, Tinker, GradeUp, all these companies basically helped Byju's in entering different markets. Like GradeUp actually is a exam preparation, postgraduate exam preparation uh, platform, which basically tied up with, which basically had a tie up with Byju's. And Scholar is basically a doubt clearing platform. Um, Topper was also a organization which dealt with the K-12 segment only, but uh, it couldn't really gather a lot of funding from the investors, and was eventually acquired by Topper. Now I would like to hand over the presentation to Kuru.
So now coming to SWOT analysis of Byju's. So the strengths which Byju's possess are is the first main strength is the first mover advantage. That is, Byju is a market leader in edtech sector. Byju offers diverse products, be it for kindergarten students to engineering entrance examination and to for JEE mains preparation. Third thing is that Byju's financial position is strong, and people have the higher recall value of Byju's. And Byju's acquired big companies like Akash, and it has collaboration with Disney's and great learning, as Sorish explained in the previous slide, and the customer loyalty. So now coming to weaknesses. The Byju's, like its return on investment is not up to the mark, and you can see in the various platforms, there are some negative reviews of Byju's, like there like app crash got detected in some of the users, or like that. And the third weakness is that the inventory management. That inventory management is not up to the mark. So now the opportunities. So as we know that due to pandemic, the trend has increased of online education, and it offers professional courses, and it untapped semi-urban and rural India. And the threats which Byju have, the threats are the new entrants and the US-China trade relations, because Byju got funding from Chinese top companies. And the third threat that Byju has is government regulations and bureaucracy. Next slide, please. So now SWOT analysis of Unacademy. The strengths of Unacademy. It took funds from big companies like SoftBank and General Atlantic, made it easier in marketing. More than 12,000 teachers are available on Unacademy, due to which most of students go for this. Now the weaknesses of Unacademy. It hasn't yet entered in K-12 segment. K-12 segment means that Unacademy is not open for the school going students from KG to 12th class students. And the second thing, the weakness is the video quality. Video quality good. And the third weakness is that the students find difficult to find a good teacher out of many teachers. So now the opportunities for Unacademy. Due to pandemic, education has gone from offline to online. It made it a good opportunity for Unacademy. It gained its reach to other countries like Brazil and Indonesia. So now coming to threats. More competitors like Vedantu Extra Marks are emerging in good pace. And as I have explained in the weakness, that the poor video quality, it will give advantage to other competitors if Unacademy doesn't fix this problem ASAP.
Next, we perform the Porter's five forces analysis to analyze the edtech industry from the point of external factors. The first force is the threat of new entrants. The industry is becoming policy friendly, and the government is showing keen interest in the edtech industry. In the post-pandemic scenario, students and parents are favoring edtech than the conventional way of education. So the threat of new entrants is high. Moving on to the next force, the bargaining power of buyers. As the services are paper course and buyers have a lot of options available, customers can switch between different services at a lower cost. So the bargaining power is high. Next force is the rivalry among incumbents. With Byju's leading the market share, As we already saw in the competitors analysis, Vedantu is also not very behind. With these two firms competing against each other strongly, the threat among incumbents is high. Moving on to the bargaining power of suppliers. Two main products, in fact services, which are supplied to the edtech firms are the cloud platforms and the internet services. As there are many companies which provide these, the edtech firms can change their suppliers easily, and so the power of suppliers is low. Moving on to the last force is the threat from substitutes. Due to the evolving technology and due to the easy access from our houses, the conventional education doesn't pose much threat as a substitute. I would like to hand over the presentation to Ayush.
Next, we have analyzed financial ratios of the two biggest edtech giants of India, that is Byju's and Unacademy. So we have compared their operating revenue, total expenses, total loss, and net cash flow from the operations for the year 2019 and 2020. We found out that Byju's is doing better in every financial aspect than Unacademy, and even it is growing with every coming year. Though we could attribute the higher revenue to the larger scale of Byju's than that of Unacademy, Byju's have maintained its expenses in proportion to its revenue. Unlike Unacademy's, where expenses are very high as compared to its revenue, that's why we conclude Byju's is managing their operations better than that of Unacademy's. Thank you for listening to us. Our group members include Ayush Jain, Jay Verma, Mannam Venkatasai Manish, Prateek Jindal, Puru Pradyum Dikshit, Saurish Shankar De, Shriram Chidambaram Ilangovan. Thank you.